Hey, Eric, how's it going? We'll give people a few more minutes like we always do. Minute or two after 9. Let people get in. People get in, get settled, get relaxed, and ready for a good time. Hard rock and one bad plum. What's going on, fellas? Appreciate y'all showing up for Wednesday nights. Y'all know we always have a good time on Wednesday nights. Just give folks a few more seconds here, and we'll do what I always do. We'll give you some updates on Shake and Bake, and then we'll give you the opportunity to keep me rapping for an hour in the chat. Now we know what the stream setup looks like. I feel like we're all at. I got you, Eric. Yeah, I should have sat the computer up on the table and had a picture of the desktop computer as well, but it is what it is. Changed my golf night just for this. Thanks, brother. I appreciate it. That's kind of funny. That's kind of funny. If you see me looking away from the camera, that means I'm looking at the chat. And yeah, it's just a little. Let me point this down maybe a little bit. Maybe like that. Mike, what's going on, buddy? Thanks for chiming in. I appreciate it. All right, we're right at 9 o'clock. I know probably 10, 15 minutes from now, someone's going to ask the question, what's the update on Shake and Bake? So you'll probably hear me go through this again. But here's where we're at. Went back and forth with 4 innovations. Come to find out, I knew when I sent it off, the filters were kind of grayish color. And they're not really supposed to be that way. And what they came back and said was whatever's happening inside either one or both of the pumps was some of the brushed stuff from inside, and some other stuff from the inside was getting out and into the fuel and being sucked up through the filters. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me, but I mean, they were gray, they were nasty. So they told me to drain the fuel, and they're going to give me, well, I'm going to buy 2 more new 285s with a 274 for the number 1 pump. So number 1 pump is going to be a 450 Walboro. The second and third pump is going to be a 525s. Almost lost my mind there for a minute. So we're going to have a 450 as the main pump, and the 2 backups are 525. So we should have plenty of pump to push fuel to get Shake and Bake rolling. Because y'all know we gonna be rolling, hitting almost 1,200 horsepower to the wheels. So they're gonna put those 2 new pumps in. They're gonna fix some of the wiring issues that I was having. We're gonna put pigtails on everything. We're gonna get the FC3 controller. We're gonna get pigtails for for the 3 pumps off of the controller as well. So that way, this is way more plug and play than kind of the way it was before. And it could have been me just not ordering the right stuff for the first install. It probably was, because I ordered everything. I should have ordered pigtails and plug and play with all that stuff. I must not have done that the last time, but I am doing it this time. So we're going to have pigtails everywhere, and everything's going to be plug and play. Mac is going to make a house call for me. He's going to come to the house and put the hat in, wire everything up, and then we're going to figure out a day to get down to EFI Specialties. Once we get down there, we'll put her on the new lift at EFI Specialties that Mac has. We'll put it on the new lift. We'll move the transmission back, get rid of that piece of junk converter that I do have. We'll put the new converter in there, button everything back up, put it on the dyno, do a couple base runs, and then we're going to hit it with some ice. A lot of ice. We usually hit it with about 35 pounds of ice to cool things down. And we're going to see what Shake and Bake can really put down. I'm thinking well into the 12s, 1210, 1215, somewhere around in there. Maybe 1220. We'll see. And I know Max says his is 5% lower than everywhere else. So if you even take 1177 or 1175, I can't remember the exact one, and you times that or add in 5%, that's already over 1200 horsepower. So yeah, the car is going to be ridiculous once we get it done. And we may even pick up a few ponies because the new torque converter, there's some billet internals in there, which makes it about 10 pounds lighter than the other one. So maybe we pick up a few ponies there. So maybe we'll get, I don't know. I'm saying probably about 1220 is what I'm thinking. All right, let's get into the chat here real quick. Let's see. Mike came in. Jay, what's up, folks? What's up, Jay? What's happening, buddy? Thanks for chiming in. Appreciate it. Yeah, Dawn, order it right. I do try to buy once, cry once, but y'all know I kick my can down the road and I wind up buying things a couple times. But it's going to be right this time. I promise. Mike's going back to Jay. Eric's going back to Jay. Timothy Don over here making me feel like a boomer with his bitch PC. I don't know if it's all that, but it's way overkill for what I use it for. I use it for work because I work from home. So emails, we do some video chats, we do some video meetings. I do all my video recording things. Anything you see with this background, I record it here on my desktop. And also we do all the lives from here. So my PC is way overkill for what I actually do with it. But Timothy, I got you. I understand, brother. Jay's going back to Eric. Jay's going back to Mike H. Eric, I think we all learned last week in chat, no drunk eBay orders. That's for sure. No drunk eBay orders. Derek, to put a 6.4 in a 5.7 car with a NAG 1, what all does it take? Will the ECM work with the 6.4? It absolutely will. Because until we switched to the Holly, I had my 5.7 ECU in there. ECM, PCU, ECU, ECM, whatever you want to call it. Engine management. Yeah, your 5.7 should work because all the sensors are the same. And matter of fact, the PCM is the same. It's just your tuner has to make sure they swap it from a 5.7 to a 6.4 in the tune. And I believe the 6.4 should mount right up to the NAG 1 because I believe the housings are all the same, if I'm not mistaken. And Jay may be able to pop in there, and I'm sure he's probably already answered it, but Jay will pop in there and correct me if I'm wrong. But I think you're good with your ECU, and I think you're good with the NAG 1. Should bolt right up. Mike says, I believe so. Jay says, Derek, the ECU will work. Just need to get the PCM tuned correctly. So I'm spot on there. I just put an E-Force on the 5.7 and thinking about a 6.4 when the 5.7 lets go. Yeah, I'm telling you, I evaded going 6.4 for so long. Everybody was like, Dawn, you should just get a 6.4. You should just get a 6.4. And finally, just to get to Rocky Mountain Race Week, it was the quickest way for me to get there. So we went with a 6.4. And the built 5.7 was crazy. Don't get me wrong. But this 6.4 is stupid. It is literally stupid. The difference between the actual 5.7 and the 6.4. So yeah, Derek, I say go for it, brother. Get you a 6.4 and have a lot of fun. Now you may want to start looking at possibly getting that Nag 1 built if you don't have it built already, to handle the power that you're going to be putting down, depending on how much boost you go with the E-Force. Eric 1220 is super crazy. Those are numbers I know you want to be seeing. Yeah, I want to get to the track. I want to get to the track is where I want to get to, is get to the track. And that's the number I want to see. Like I said, the goal right now is to run 2, maybe 3 8s just to say, hey, we can do it if we want to. And then I want Dave to tune it back to 9.0 and 9.5. So that way, no matter what the classes are, because there's different classes for all these different events out there. Some go 9.5, some go 9.0. So that way I can go either way. That's the intent. We'll see when we get there. But 1220 is what we want to see. All right. Everybody wants to see 1220. I think it's going to be pretty with ice. I think we'll hit that. I think we'll definitely hit 1220 with ice. Derek currently running 10 pounds on stock bottom end, 260 GT fuel. Okay. Yeah. I mean, you're safe with race fuel. I know that 260 GT. I know that stuff's expensive because I used to run it years ago, like several years ago. God, how long have I been on E85? 3 years now. But yeah, that race fuel is expensive. Race fuel is expensive. Hard Rock, thanks for the update, Don. Almost time to race again. Yeah, I am chomping at the bit to get back to the racetrack. Let me tell you, I am ready. If I could have got 4 to get this fuel system done quicker, I would have kicked them in the tail end to get it done. But you know, they're doing what they're doing. They said it would be 2 to 3 weeks, and we're going to be right around the 3-week mark once I get it back. Actually, Monday will be the start of 3 weeks that they physically had the pumps. So I sent it the Monday before. It got there Thursday. We did some back and forth. Anyway, so they've had it for almost 2 weeks. And like I said, this Monday will be the beginning of the 3rd week. It'll hold 10 all day, Derek. Yep, Derek, it sure will. Especially with the 260 GT fuel in there. Depending on your tune, if your tune is good, you can run 10 psi all day long and not have an issue. I ran all the way up to 20 on mine, and I ran that about a year. But you're not running 20 psi and you're not running 10 psi all day every day. You're not in it that much. But yeah, I think you're good, and yeah, have a lot of fun. Jay saying 14 psi. Yep. Tuning is the key to longevity. 100%, Chris. 100%. Absolutely. Tuning is the key. Derek, Jay Green tunes the car so far. So good. 1170 at 3000 DA. That's not bad. That's not bad. Yeah. I'll give you a not. That's not bad. I think you can do better. But 11.7 at 3000 DA is a pretty good time. Always nice when a 5.7 beats the bigger guys. 100%. I love to see a 5.7 beat the bigger guys. What's the sound difference between the 264 like it is now, and the 5.7 the way it was at its strongest. The 6.4 is much, much deeper. It's got a deeper tone to it. The 5.7 was kind of, I would say, kind of a mid-range, raspy kind of deal. But that's because I had the Borla exhaust on there. Even when we went to the dumps, it sounded good. It was nice and deep. But the 6.4 is a much deeper rumble than the 5.7. Timothy at 3K-ish currently. The 392 is the way. And that could change easily in 5 to 10 years. Yep. $1234. Boy, I'd love to see $1234. That'd be nice. Putting in a tank-mounted ice tank in the winter to help with AITs. Yep. I tell you, it definitely helps. No kidding. 1320. All right, Mike. If we get into 1300, something's seriously crazy going on. But that's ridiculous power right there. I think I may be the lone 5.7 guy now. Yeah. As far as I know, major YouTubers, you would be the only 5.7 guy, Jay. Easy, Mike. Holy cow, that's the moon tune. Yeah, that's definitely the moon tune, no doubt. Me too, Jay. I'm just 3 to 4 seconds slower. All right, Tim. Jay, being the fastest 5.7 guy is a thing in itself. That's the truth. That's the truth. Oh, that's right. One Bad Plum still does have a 5.7. I forgot about that, Chris. I forgot you are still 5.7. Oh, Jay, going back 3 seconds slower than who? Eric's still 5.7. All right, we got some 5.7 guys. You, Don, incredible, everyone. Yeah. Yeah, pretty much all of the guys that I know have gone 6.4. You got Incredible Hemi went 6.4. You got Frostbite Ram, Mopar Motorsports. He went 6.4. We were the three kind of holding the 5.7 up there for a long time. A 5.7 gang for sure. All right, Chris is going back to Jay. Yeah, Jay's new version should definitely go 9s, no doubt about it. Chris has run 10.3. Yep. For a 5.7, man, that's getting it. That's getting it for sure. And going 9s with a 5.7 is a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. Before I get yelled at, I have several vids on deck. I'm editing. We'll detail all the stuff I have going on with Frankenstein. You knew he was going to get on you, Jay. New Frankenstein should easily be in the 9. It should be. Definitely should be. Hard Rock. My 5.7 shaker, had to get it into the RPMs to get the power. With my scat, it reaches that power way quicker. At the lower RPMs, 392 rolls. Yeah, I don't know. Knowing what I know now, would I go 392 earlier if I had it to do all over again? I don't know. I would have to think long and hard on that one. But yeah, the 392 is just, it's just stupid crazy. Jay's going back to Eric. I wish my 5.7 had that low end power. That's my only problem. Yeah, there is a huge difference in the lower RPMs between the 6.4 and the 5.7. No doubt. Because the 6.4 makes, not only does it make more power, it makes a boatload more torque. So, and that torque comes in a lot faster. Don, I appreciate you passing the torch. Here you go, man. Here's the 5.7 torch. It's all yours. I may have to go to like a like an award shop or whatever. Get you a little Get a little 5.7 statue or something. 139 should be good for 9.7 or so. Yeah, there's no doubt about it. I'm going to be going over 150. there's no doubt about it. But we're going to be in the nines anyway. So eventually we're going to need the cage, or eights. We're definitely going to need a cage. Twin turbo 3-pedal J, easily going to be one of the yeah, no doubt about it. J should definitely surpass, my 998 or 997. I think it was a 997, 996, something like that. He should definitely be able to surpass that pretty easy. Jay, we got several upgrades added into the mix with this version. I'll no longer be held back by the stock bottom end limitations. Yep. Yeah, Chris, he's making a beast, no doubt about it. Tim, 35 pounds incoming. It's definitely possible. Derek, 1170 was spinning. Bad prep, hoping 1140 in the sub 1000 DA. Does that seem reasonable? Yeah, that's 100% reader. That's 100% reasonable. I think the rule of thumb is about a tenth for 1000 DA. So, you're picking up 2/10 there if you're not spinning, and you're getting a good 60 foot with that setup at 10 pounds. Depending on your converter, you should be popping at least 1.6s, low 1.6s, maybe high 1.5s in the 60 foot. When you're not spinning, you should definitely be able to hit 11.4, if not a little quicker. Derek, it's very possible. In fact, I expect it to go a little faster. I tried to say it without saying it because I don't want to get his hopes up too high. 4,000 stall. All right, yeah, you should be able to get a good 60 foot with that, and you should definitely be 11.4 with 10 pounds of boost, 5.7. I'm trying to remember where I was at. Yeah, I was in the low 11s with mine and 1,000, 2,000 DA. So I think, yeah, you get it to hook, I think you'll definitely be in the 1.4, if not better. Jay, funny thing is, this is just a proof of concept build. I have the final boss 6.4 build and the back MMX 6.4. Derek, 155, 60 foot is the best. Yeah, I think if you get another 160, 155 and you hook up, you should definitely be in that low 11s. Yeah, Jay, I'm with you. One bad plum, 10 psi, went high 10s. Yeah, I don't want to get your hopes up too high, Derek. we don't want to get them up too high, but you should definitely be in the low 11s, no doubt. 11.3, 11.4 should be pretty easy with a 155 60 foot hooking, and pushing it all the way through. You should definitely be good with that. All right, you guys, you got to keep me going. Someone's got to ask questions here. Someone's got to keep the chat rolling. We got 38 minutes yet. Someone's got to keep me going. But yeah, so what I make on YouTube and the last, here's my streaming build. I'm just trying to keep content up there. I'm not expecting neither one of those videos are going to do very good. The streaming one is doing terrible. It's doing terrible. But I just wanted to keep something out there to keep the channel going. Jay saying, Derek, work on the suspension. You'll see the times come down. Suspension is definitely key. There's no doubt about it. Suspension is a huge piece of it. Yeah. So if you don't have any suspension work, and you're going to do it, I highly suggest, though I get it, it's expensive, but I definitely would go with AAD. I wouldn't mess around with anything else. That is definitely a buy once, cry once, because all of their stuff is really, really built to handle the power. Should be able to get 1.4 60 foots with his stall, definitely, because I was getting 1.4s with mine with a 3800 stall, so he should definitely be able to get some power out of that. Don, triple come in yet? Not yet. I'm hoping to have him by the end of next week. So I said I'll go over it again real quick. So I did some back and forth with 4 on the pumps. Found out my current pumps are starting to go bad. So now they're going to put 2 new 285s with a 274 as the primary pump. They're going to put pigtails on everything. They're going to put pigtails on the FC3 controller. I got that as well. They're going to put pigtails on all of that. And then this thing should be plug and play compared to the way we had it before. So don't have them yet. Hope to have them. I'm hoping the end of next week, but I'd be ecstatic if they come in mid next week. Derek has Viking double adjustable front and rear and all AAD rear suspension. All right. Then all you got to do is dial in those Vikings. So if, yeah, the thing with the double adjustable stuff, you got to have someone with you to let you know what the car is doing so you can make the right adjustments. Don, CJ was that guy. All right. Bro, it's like TJ told us. Put out the content you want to put out. Yeah, it is what it is. Like I said, it was just trying to keep, hey, I'm still here. I'm still making videos. Obviously, you're not going to watch these crazy ones that I put out, but it's all good. It's definitely all good. Derek, play with the settings. And you should be able to dial the spinning out of the car for sure. Yep. Was low 1.5s with stock converter, stock trans. Yep. Hugh, what horsepower level would you say suspension work becomes worth the expense? Ooh. Man, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. Because I know I ran my stock suspension for a long time. I would say once you start getting into that 600 range, then I would start looking at doing suspension work. But that's just my opinion. But I think that's where I started to see a lot of spinning and stuff was around the 600 range. And that's when I started to do suspension work. They always tell folks pumps are going bad. Yeah, I mean, they may very well, but mine, from what they were telling me from the filters were really gray and they were really ugly. So from that perspective, they said they needed replaced. But it's all good. Hey, I'll have 3 brand new pumps, so we're starting 100% fresh with the triple pumps. So I'm good with that too. And yeah, the pumps are 150 a piece. $300 to make sure we're good to go and not going to have any issues. Sounds good for me. Waiting for parts sucks. Yeah, 100%. So the plan is triple pumps install and nitrous to get off the line. So we're going to hold off on nitrous for now. I want to try all blower and see what happens. And then we may pull in the nitrous. Jay's going back to Hugh's question about when does it become worth the expense. Jay saying more torque. Yeah, I would say, like I said, in that 600, 650 range, get off the stock suspension and start putting in something something more track focused, if that's the way you're going with your car, is track focused. But yeah, it's a tough question. And the Mac converter reveal. We're gonna get there. One, Mac is still super busy, and I can't do anything until we get the pumps because I can't move the car. It's been sitting in the driveway for almost a month now. But we're getting there. We're gonna tear the top 5.7 apart too, so stay tuned for that one. That one is also coming. I haven't forgot. We're getting there. We want to get Shake and Bake dialed in first, and then we'll do those extra videos. And actually, it's good for me because it pushes that content maybe into the off season a little bit, and I got something to do in the off season. Jay, once I put nitrous on the 5.7, I noticed I needed to upgrade my suspension because I started to get wheel hop. Yep, stick car problems. Andrew, are OST dynos remote tunes any good? Has anyone in the chat heard of them? Yes, OST. They've been around for a while. I've seen a lot of good things from OST, but they're like any of the other bigger shops that do tuning. They're hard to get a hold of, and you're gonna get it could be weeks before you actually get a tune. But I haven't heard anything necessarily bad about OST dynos remote tunes. But yeah, Andrew, I'm not sure what area you're in, but if you're in the DMV area, I would go to Dave, to be honest. And Dave does remote tuning too. I don't know if he can do a dyno remote tune. He probably could. I don't think he's done them, but he remote tunes a lot of cars as well. So there you go, Andrew. Nothing bad from OST, but hey, if you want, check out Dave, talk to him, and see what you think. You need that Billy Slipper deal. No kidding, right? Patrick S. I just installed a P1X just last week. I ordered a Edelbrock Victor 2 intake manifold and shorty headers getting installed. Should I use the kits injectors? I think it's like 42 pound-hours or 450 cc's. When I did my Pro Charger, of course, I did the D1X, not the P1X. So the D1X pushes a little bit more air than the P1X does. But I didn't go with the kit injectors. I went ahead and bought thick 650 injectors just to make sure I had enough injector that I didn't have a problem. Now, your pump may be your next problem. So I upgraded my stock 5.7 pump to the Hellcat 525 pump. So I did a little bit bigger injectors, and I upgraded my pump just to make sure I had enough fuel, because fuel is one thing you don't want to run out of because bad things happen. So Patrick, I would also look what you're looking for in the future. So I'm guessing you're probably in that 7, 8, 9 pound range. If you're going to stay there, I would go for the thick 650 injectors, upgrade the pump, and you're good to go. If you want to go past that and go into 10, 12, 14 pounds of boost, you're probably better off getting a little bit bigger injectors and possibly a dual pump at that point. So it skyrockets from once you put boost on, the prices for stuff just skyrockets. But fuel is something not very many people talk about, but is super important. That you have the right size injectors, you have the right size pumps to make sure you have enough fuel. Now, a lot of people go with the booster pumps, the BAPs, BAP. You'll see it. This is just me personally, I don't like the booster pumps. I would just rather have real pumps than just adding more voltage to the pump that I already have, which basically what a booster pump does. I would rather just have a bigger pump or two pumps. That's just me. That's what I would do. One bad plum. OST has been around for a while now. Yep. Derek, never heard of them. Jay does good from my experience. Jay is good. When I was with Jay, I had no problems with Jay. We did really, really well. When we added boost, this was just my opinion, my feeling. Not that Jay did anything wrong. Jay didn't mess anything up. None of that. Jay was a great tuner, and Jay is a great tuner. At that point, I felt I needed to get it on the dyno and get it tuned. That's just me. There's plenty of people out there that continue to do email tunes through Jay, Flying Ryan Performance, all of these guys that do, remote tuning. Yeah, I mean, you can do it. And Jay can do it. Jay's done it. And he did me for a while when I had the Pro Charger on. It's just I felt I was pushing the car further and further, and I just needed to move on to a real dyno tune. Jay's going back to Tim. A10 message retracted. Tim says nice. Patrick says, by the way, it's on a 5.7. Okay. So I think hopefully I answered your question. I would go 650 injectors and 525 Hellcat if you're staying in that 8 to 9 pounds of boost. If you're going to go more than 9 pounds of boost, I would definitely go for a little bit bigger injectors, probably 1000 or 1050s in that range. And then I would look at, you don't necessarily have to do a full return dual pump setup, but I would start looking at a dual pump setup once you start going 10 pounds of boost or more. Jixton, how you guys doing? Does anyone know how much horsepower you can get from a Torque Storm supercharger? It all depends how much power you want. I mean, you can get all kinds of power out of a Torque Storm. You can get all kinds of power out of any of these superchargers or turbos. It's just how much boost you want to push, and then it's what supporting modifications you need to be safe on that amount of boost, on that amount of horsepower. So, Mopar Motorsports, Frostbite Ram, he's running a Torque Storm supercharger and has been running one for years now. And he's got a Ram truck, single cab Ram truck in the low 10s on a Torque Storm. So you can go as far as you want. It's just, like I said, you gotta kind of have a goal. And my goal post keeps changing. Everyone yells at me because my goal post keeps going down the track, and it keeps going down the track faster. But you gotta put a stick in the ground and say, all right, this is what I want. I want to run 10 pounds of boost. I want to make around 650, 700 wheel horsepower. Okay, what do I need to make that happen? And that's what you got to go from. But you can make as much power as you want with a Torque Storm. Andrew OST used to be top notch. I can't speak on them anymore though. So there you go, Andrew, old man. Don't ask for more than 600 horsepower on a Torque Storm. I think Mopar Motorsports would disagree with you, because I think he's pushing way more than 600. I think he's got one of the newer ones, but he was pushing more than 600 on the old one as well. I think you can push more with a Torque Storm than what people think. Patrick, shorty heads are a waste of money. Grab some SRT headers. You'll fare better, honestly. I can agree with that. I kind of missed that, Jay. Thanks for picking up on that. Um, I'm guessing you're wanting to go shorties or SRT headers to keep in some kind of emission standards wherever you live. But your best bet is 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 long tubes. To be honest, Patrick. But if you want to go the shorty headers to keep keep in compliance with some kind of emission standard, then Jay's got a point. Go with some SRT headers. They'll work a lot better than any shorty that you can buy. Injectors depending on boost level. I like 750s minimum if you can afford them. Dixon only 600. I wanted to do that and nitrous, but only 600 ain't worth it. Yeah, you can make more than 600 with a torque storm. Because, like I said, and Jay says it below. I'm reading it now. Frostbite Ram's gone well over that. Dells, hey Don, have you had any experience with the cam packages HHP have to offer for the 5.7? I don't. I don't. But my suggestion is don't just go buy one off their website. I would call them and say, hey, here's my setup. What cam do you suggest? Or do you suggest a custom grind cam to fit my build? It's really one, fitting your build and fitting what you want out of the cam. So we talked about, we do a lot of talks about cams. So you can do sound, you can do power, or you can do a little bit of both. So chop doesn't necessarily mean power, but yeah, Dells, I would go to HHP if that's where you want to get it from, and I would call Josh there and the team there and say, hey, here's my setup. What cam do you think I need? Same thing if you want to go with MMX or Texas Speed or Flying Ryan Performance, or if you want to go with a Mac cam, if he'll sell you a cam, he's kind of tight hold on his cams sometimes, but you could talk to Mac and say, hey, what cam do I need for what I'm building? All right, Andrew, you're in Indiana. I got you. You can reach out to Dave at EFI Specialties. He does remote tuning. But like I said, OST, I haven't heard anything bad from OST. Eric, definitely seen torque storms do way more than 600. That's what Frostbite has. Yep. Patrick X. Hughes, going back to Patrick, depends on your long-term goals. Like I said, you got to kind of focus that question. Focus your questions. If you're satisfied with the power kit it provides, the kit injectors are fine. However, if you want to run E85 or make big power, you got to upgrade. Yep. Yep, Hugh, I'm with you. I don't think I wasted $1,000 because I wound up selling my 650s, and then I wound up selling my 1050s. So between the three of those, I probably lost a good $700-800 by buying smaller injectors and then going faster and faster and more boost. Same thing with the pumps. I should have just went with a triple pump to begin with. Yeah. All right, Jay's going back to Hugh. E85 made me have to buy injectors. They're nearly 1800s. Yep, I got 1650s in mind now. So we're good with injectors. We're going to be good with pump. So this is the setup we're going to run the rest of the year. 25 duty versus 75 plus. Yep. Jig stand. I'm trying to run 9s on my 5.7 until I go BGE. You're talking to one of the few guys that has taken a 5.7 stock bottom end 5.7 into the nines. The blueprint is out there. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. So yes, I have gone 6.4 to the 392, but I did run, was it one or two nines on my stock bottom on 5.7. So yeah, you're gonna need plenty of boost. You're gonna need injectors. You're gonna need E85. You're gonna need minimum dual pump, minimum 1050 injectors, or 1,000 injectors from FIC, depending on who you go with. ID is 1050. FIC I think is 1,000. You're gonna have to do a lot of upgrades to get a 9. I went with Deutschwerks, which isn't typical in the Hemi world, but their 1550s flow 1800 at 60 psi. Yeah, same thing with FIC. So FIC rates theirs at 40 some pounds, but they also give you what they run at 58, the stock 58 pounds. So when you look at FIC, like 1650s, they run more like 1750s, I think, or something like, I can't remember exactly what it is. 1750, 1800, something like that, somewhere around in there. They do flow a lot more. So you got to look at the right fuel pressure for the ones you're picking up. Tim, you came to the right place. Yep. Old Man Torque Storm has a newer twin supercharger set up for over 1,000 horsepower. Haven't seen that in real life yet. They do have a twin. When they first came out with it, I want to say Frostbite Ram did a video and they had a 69 Camaro. I think it was a 69 Camaro where they had the twin Torque Storms on there. So yeah, it's twin Torque Storms are possible. Yeah. Hugh's going back to Jay. At least for me, it isn't quite as bad. I only buy them 6 at a time. Yeah. Hard Rock, does adding octane boost like SDP, Lucas, etc. gum up your spark plugs or just Boostain? Boostain never gummed up my spark plugs. Now, they will turn your pistons and your spark plugs orange just because of whatever chemical they use to boost the octane, but I never had Boostain gum up my spark plugs. And a matter of fact, Incredible Hemi ran Boostain for a long time and never had any problems from his gumming up either. So I think you're fine with Boostain unless you had a bad experience with Boostain. Yeah, I never had a problem. Jay's going, I'm jealous, Hugh. Patrick, I got the fuel pump upgraded already, but I'll check on the 650s now. I think after all of this, I'll focus on being able to turn better. But thank you. I've been wondering about it all day. Hey, this is the perfect time to ask that question because you're gonna get several answers. But at least all of our answers, it looks like, are in the same ballpark. So it's good that you already did your pump, which is great. But I would definitely look at least the 650s if you're gonna keep that 8 pounds of boost. But like I said, if you're eventually gonna go more boost, I would look at getting a little bit bigger injectors now so you don't have to worry about it later. Yeah, 16 spark plugs ain't no joke. That's for sure. Currently running Deutschwerks 90 pounds, but seeing over 100% duty cycle, definitely need bigger. That's for sure. If you're seeing 100% duty cycle, you definitely need bigger injectors. Chris, you're killing me, buddy. Eric, the 4 and back on both sides. Yeah, they are. Yeah, those 4, they're definitely tough to get to. Wow, I literally can't get over 30% duty on E85 with my setup. Now we're getting up there on the 1650. Don't get me wrong, we're getting up there, but we still got enough. We still got enough injector for now. Twin torque storm sounds ridiculous. It is. It's crazy. It is ridiculous. Hughes going back to Jay. Save money on injectors is the only benefit of having 227 cubic inches. All right, Hugh. Tim, plus the exhaust manifold, you guys have to deal with. You, yeah. Eric, twins are crazy, that's for sure. Turbos are easy to up the boost. Ask me how I know. Just on 94 pump gas for me. Likely need at least 1300s. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I agree, Chris. 1300s should do you pretty good. I didn't want to go turbo until I swapped my engine out. You can't go wrong with turbos. Can't go wrong with turbos. Jay will tell you. Never mind. I thought we were talking about spark plug. Hey, 16 spark plugs are still expensive. Doesn't matter. Jay's going back to GYX then. 5.7 grabbing gears. Hard rock cooks. Long tube headers are nice, but they're definitely not cheap. They definitely are not cheap. They weren't cheap when I bought mine in 2017. Did I buy mine? Yeah, but they are. I love them. I love my Cook's headers. I gotta admit. I just want to try centrifugal first, then turbo eventually. Okay. Remember now, when you go torque storm, unless they change things, they don't make a plug and play kit. So what you get is a head unit, and then all of the piping, intercooler, all that stuff is on you to figure all that out. So keep that in mind. I know Pro Charger's a tad more expensive, but when you go for the full kit, by the time you buy everything you need for the torque storm, you're getting up there to Pro Charger territory. Now, it's not quite as expensive as a Pro Charger, but the Pro Charger, you can get the full kit. Timothy, none of the catted long tubes are cheap. Yeah. Jay, that makes sense now. Thanks. Eric, if you get a cam that sounds good, does that mean it won't be as powerful? Asking for a friend. So you're talking onesie twosies, right? So it's typically sound, a little bit of both, or power. But really, you're not leaving a whole lot of power on the table. I would argue Jay may even be answering it down the way, 5 to 10 horsepower. So it's not a lot you're going to lose. And your tuning can try and make up for some of that as well. But then you're tuning to get the chop. Yeah, so it's a double-edged sword. But from a butt dyno perspective, you're not gonna feel like you lost anything. Laugh out loud, I'm getting a Mac cam. Going to steal it from you on Friday. All right, Jay. I'm calling Jay and Mac for my cam hopefully soon. All right. Original Modern Red headache. We'll be back in action here soon. Awesome. Plus, I don't want to go balls to the wall, and then I swapped to an all-wheel drive Charger. Has to be swapped around. Yeah, that's true. Don, you're so right. I wish I'd have done triple to start. But hey, it's only money. That's right. You can't take it with you. People always ask, what is the best cam for my car? There was always a trade-off. What RPM range do you want to make power? How important is drivability? People don't understand there's a lot that goes into a cam. And those are definitely two of the bigger questions you need to answer. Where do you want to make your power, and how important is drivability? It's only paper, Jay. That's right. Tim, 3K 6,500, most area under the curve wins. Yep. Jay, Eric, tell that to my wife and give me some of that said paper, my friend. Yeah, for sure. 6,500, that's just entering the party. Let's bring that up to 7,300. We're looking at possibly going around 7,000 on Shake and Bake, but we'll see. And really, that's where the high ram is really going to shine. If we do get up into 7,000 or a little over 7,000, that's where the high ram is really going to shine. Really going to make a difference. Jay, I know you're the go to the 5.7 community. That's why I watch you. All right, buddy. All right. Money shifts coming. Coming. I got you. Oh, gosh. Timothy, don't wish that on us. Yeah, Don, it's an old Camaro with twins. It's a pro street car. Yep. I thought it was a Camaro. I just wasn't 100% sure. It's because it was so long ago I watched that video. If you want to see a grown man cry, watch what happens if I ever money shift. I know I'll miss eventually. All right. Only saving grace will be the strain gauge. All right. Eric, I use Lucas in my truck. It gets way better gas mileage and runs good. Yeah, there's a number of octane boosters out there. I think that's what we're back to now. Like I said, I never had a problem with boosting. Should I change out my NGKs on my Scat? 40,000 miles, owned it for over 2 years now. If you're I'm one, if it's not broke, don't fix it, especially if it's your daily. If you're not getting any codes or you're not getting any misfires or anything like that, I wouldn't worry about it, to be honest. You could pull one of the front ones, look at it, and if it looks good, stuff it back in there and run another 40,000 miles. Yeah, I mean, you can hang on to them for a while. I mean, they're like 100,000 miles. People going 100,000 miles on their first spark plugs. Hard Rock, pull a plug on each. If there's a Jay answered the question again. So, he's on it. Also, is any pitting or rust? Yep. The price point of the Pro Charger, I could get a 3.0 Whipple. Then that just comes down to pros and cons. Yeah, really, the Pro Charger and the Whipple, Torque Storm. In the end, you're all pretty close. Maggie 2650, you can throw that in there. Yeah, I mean, it all comes out in the wash, man. I hate to say it. It all comes out in the wash in the end. At what horsepower level should you swap out the stock drive shaft on a 5.7? That's a good question, because I ran my stock drive shaft for a long time before going to a one piece. To be safe, I would say in that 550, 600 range. And now I see one bad plum answered that. Answered that below was 600. Yeah, I would say probably 550, 600 range. I would go ahead and get one. Personally, I feel like it's the same as the suspension dells, around 600, and depending on how much torque you make. I replaced my drive shaft as soon as I put nitrous on my car. It hits hard and broke a lot of stock axles. Yeah, so hopefully that answered your question, Dells. Jay, I'm okay. Nowhere near that, but thanks. All right, Tim, does the Scat or Cat get bigger axles? I think the Cat's axles are a little bit, I think one is bigger. I think the driver's side is bigger and the passenger side is a little bit smaller, if I remember. But I got red eye axles now. But the Cat axles will handle more power. I really like NGK and Hemis. They have been good to me. I've had them in. Yeah, I've never had problem in NGKs. I never had problems with Brisk. I tried E3s. They didn't work. Had lots of problems with those. Had to go with NGKs. But yeah, spark plugs to me is NGK or Brisk. Check them visually on my 392. All right, Hard Rock. 15 scats with the 230 ZFs have the same axles as a Cat. Okay, I didn't know that. They are the same spline. They're interchangeable. Just larger diameter. Good to know. Dodge is cheap. They aren't going to change spines in a 230 ZF. All right. Carbon fiber drive shaft is cool until it's not. I've seen them strip online, but they're nasty. Yeah. Carbon fiber ones look cool. I just didn't have a whole lot of faith in carbon fiber. I still don't have a lot of faith in carbon fiber, and that could be misplaced. But this is my opinion. I would just go with an aluminum one or a steel one, depending on how much torque and horsepower you're making. I'd rather blow my money on the car than gambling. Yeah, I'm with you. That's the spirit, 100%. My current shift points are 7,000. Might be looking to try a few more RPM after injector upgrade. Let's go. Let's go. Let's hit it. All right, folks. Y'all got me. Y'all got me through the hour. It's 10 o'clock. 9:59. I'll give y'all a few more seconds. But hey, I appreciate everyone coming in, chiming in, asking questions, answering questions. Y'all know the deal. That's what this Wednesday chat is all about, is making sure people don't make expensive mistakes like I have. I know Jay has. I know One Bad Plum has. I know a few of us has made some pretty expensive mistakes in buying things 2 or 3 times over. So, hey, that's what this chat's all about. But hey, we're up to 21. I think 21 is pretty close. Other than the one night I did a live at the dyno, I think 21 is a record for me to have in one Wednesday night. But that's awesome. Hey, I appreciate everyone chiming in. I appreciate everyone keep me going for an hour. Y'all be safe. Y'all have a great night, and we'll see you on the next one. Adios.